Hey man, I gave you my tax return information 3 weeks ago. What do you mean you haven't started? Hey, you promised me this project about a month ago. I haven't seen any updates yet. How's it going? My banker really needs those financial statements. Why haven't you started them yet? I owe $20,000 more in taxes and you didn't tell me?
In this video, I'm going to give you some tips so you know what to look for when you're looking for a CPA. Hi, my name is Mike the CPA and welcome to Money and Life TV. Over the past 3 years that I've been doing YouTube, I've gotten a lot of questions of how do I find people like me, CPAs? Finding a good CPA is almost like trying to find a good boyfriend or girlfriend. It's kind of like dating in a sense, because it really starts with trust. Now, this is a person who is gonna know a tremendous amount of information about you. They're gonna know your social security numbers, they're gonna know how much you make, how you make your money, what you do. And they're gonna really know your life at a very personal level that most other professionals will never know. And so it's really important you find somebody you can trust. And not only trust, but the first thing I like to mention to people is shop around. Interview a few CPAs, let them know what you're looking for. Have a phone conference with them before you ever step foot in their office. Give them a call. See if it sounds like somebody you would want to meet with. See if this is somebody you can relate to, whether it's a man or a woman that you'll be working with, and see if you think you could potentially like working with them. Big factor for me is working with somebody I can relate with. Sometimes with your best intentions, you want to work with somebody, but you just don't click. The relationship's not there. Their personality is a little too different from yours so that it's hard to get along or it's hard to communicate with them. For me personally, I want somebody who's very relatable and that I can easily communicate with, because communication is one of the key foundations for not only trust, but for helping you get what you're looking for out of working with a CPA. So certainly don't be afraid to shop around, call up a few CPAs and see if their personality meshes with yours, if you think it would be a good fit. That's where it starts. One tip to finding a good CPA is ask your friends or family members who they use and why they use them. And let me just reiterate a little bit on that, is you don't always want if they say, oh, I go to this person because they're the cheapest, that might not actually be a good thing. Sometimes you get what you pay for. But besides asking family members or friends, especially if you're a business owner, ask other business owners who they use. I think that's one of the best things you can do. Maybe there's a club you're involved with, or maybe there's a networking group you're involved with, and see who they use, who's their accountant for their business. Their business, for most people who have businesses, that's their baby. That is their livelihood. And they're going to put that in the hands of the people they trust the most. And oftentimes, one of those people is their CPA. Their accountant is worth their weight in gold, because that person knows their financial situation, they know their business, and they know pretty much everything about that person's life. And they know who their kids are, if it's been a long-term relationship, and they truly know and understand that person. I think those are some of the people I would ask first before going and doing an online search. The next thing I would look for in a CPA is find someone who truly understands what you do, especially if you are a business owner. Let's say your business is in construction or real estate, or maybe you're a farmer. I would try to seek out a CPA who specializes in those areas, a CPA who knows that industry, because each business is very different from one another. You guys probably know that the business you're involved in, especially if you have your own business, it's like speaking another language to somebody. And if the CPA doesn't understand that business, it's going to be harder for them to help you. They don't need to know your business in and out, but if they already have some exposure or have some current clients who they've worked with within those industries or sectors, then they're probably gonna be somebody who understands what you do better and can better advise you. Not only do you want a CPA, in my opinion, who can know how to do your taxes or keep up your accounting records, but more so, these days people are really looking for consultants. People who not just know how to do taxes, because that's in the CPA world, knowing how to do a tax return and audit, that's bare bones. That is the bare bones service line. But what people are looking for now, as our world gets more and more complex with all the new technologies and things that are facing us in today's world, it's good to know it's good to have somebody in your corner who knows how to help you with your finances, who can help advise you in your business, to help you strategically move forward in a way that will not only grow your business, but will help you save on taxes as well and grow your long-term wealth. That is what people are looking for these days. They're not just looking for an accountant who can do a tax return. You can find that practically anywhere. They're looking for people who are critical thinkers who can think outside the box. I will mention a common misperception out there regarding accountants or CPAs, whatever, is many people just assume that accountants know everything. Well, that is absolutely not the case. And that is true for me as well. Like, I don't know. There's so much I don't know. Like, I'm not an attorney, right? I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't know every nook and cranny of those industries. And that's why it's important to work as a team. But you shouldn't expect a CPA to truly know everything. But hopefully, if you have legal questions, maybe they can connect you with an attorney they work with. You want somebody who specializes in that service line who can help you with your taxes, your accounting, and your business industry and help you proceed forward and grow your business. Aside from the things we've already mentioned so far in this video, I think being able to, a person who can help you learn and understand your taxes or accounting records or whatever it may be is very valuable to have somebody like that in your corner. I think you want someone who can do that for you, which is why I think communication and relatability are just so important. But I hope you can find a CPA who can help you do those things, because what I hate to see, and I've seen it all too often now because I've been doing this for about 9 years, is what most accounting firms do or most CPAs do is they get a customer in the door, they do their taxes real quick and give them their tax return, and that person never hears from them again the rest of the year until it's tax time again, which is really frustrating to me to see that as a CPA, and I think it's really a disservice to the client because it's almost like they're treating them as a number, and that's not fair, and I don't think that's right. So what I'm saying for you is find somebody who will take the time to teach you. I will tell you, now some accountants are really upfront about this and others aren't, but in case you don't know, when you take your taxes to a firm, most of the time the person you meet with, your CPA, they're not the ones doing the work for you. That's not the person doing the work. The person doing the work is usually a lower level position staff member who they're paying a wage to or salary who's helping prepare that return for you. Some of them will tell you that's what's happening, some of them won't. But that is how the business works in general. The nature of their business, and this is true for most businesses, as I've found now for attorneys, bankers, whatever, is usually a CPA will serve their highest paying clients first. That is just how it works. The CPAs will serve the rich because those are the people who pay them the most money. So in your hunt for a CPA, you want somebody who will at least spend a little time with you. Of course, they might, don't expect them to give it for free because that is their time. They get most of them charged by the hour. But hopefully you can find one who can spend some time with you and give you the level of service you're looking for and not just completely shun you to the side because you don't pay them X amount of money every year because your business isn't large enough, your tax return isn't complicated enough, whatever it may be. So certainly find somebody who's willing to invest some time with you. I would hope that you can work with somebody who really cares about you and wants to invest in you, in your future. And I think that's the kind of person that I would look for if I were looking for a CPA. Let's talk about experience real quick. I think you're looking for somebody ideally with 5 to 10 years of experience. The learning curve for public accounting is about 4 to 5 years, and that is what the general industry standard is. In like 4 or 5 years in, that's when an accountant really starts to understand how things work. You obviously want somebody who's technically competent and who has a good amount of experience under their belts, unless you're willing to give somebody a chance. And hopefully they do a good job, because of the relationship you have with them. Maybe it's your neighbor's son or daughter who you know very well and you trust them, and they might not have 5 to 10 years of experience, but you know that they're gonna do the best job they can for you. So there's that too. So you have to weigh all those things when you're looking for somebody. Let's chat a little bit more about communication. And one area of communication is dire. It is so important, is when it comes to billing and pricing. Now, when you first have a meeting with a CPA or a phone conference with a CPA, they might not be able to provide you a price because they really need to see how complicated your tax situation or accounting situation is and what level of service you're looking for. And that's fine. But when it comes to pricing and billing, you want somebody who's very clear about their pricing structure. And so you feel comfortable paying those rates. And the CPAs aren't cheap, guys, but you know what? Not having your accounting records in order is so much more costly than paying a CPA, in my opinion. There's not one business owner I know that is successful who doesn't have their own accountant. Not one. Price is a very sensitive area for anybody, right? Especially if you're trying to save money, but also have your accounting records and taxes done correctly. But it's important that the person you're working with is willing to clearly convey what they'll be charging you on an hourly basis or a monthly basis, however their structure is, so before you go into it, you know exactly where you stand. And you probably want to communicate with them, you know, if this is going to cost me more than we initially thought it was, please call me, please email me, because I don't want a surprise bill that's $2,000 more than we initially agreed upon. So it's very important you get clear communication with that accountant, because communication is key to building trust in that long-term relationship. Now, the last thing I want to cover with you all kind of reiterates on a previous point, but you do want somebody who is available. And depending on the size of firm you go to, now let's talk about the size of firms, because there's all different kinds of CPAs. Some of them work at very large firms like Big Four, some of them, which is basically where the really rich people go. That's basically how that works. Some of them work at a smaller firm, which is maybe it's just them, or maybe it's just a few people of 10 or less employees, and that's common too. And some of them are sole proprietors just working for themselves. But you do want somebody at the end of the day, you do want a CPA who's not buried, and you want to convey that when you meet with them, saying if you don't think you can turn around my work in 2, 3, 4 weeks, let me know, because I need somebody who has the capacity to do the work for me and get that turned around for me. The flow of communication around deadlines and how quickly you would like things turned around is very important. I'll tell you, from an industry average, most things probably anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Could be a tax return, accounting, bookkeeping, accounting, whatever it is. Or some things could take months depending on if it's like an audit or financial statements they're doing for you. But you want somebody who has capacity to really help you, because a lot of CPAs, they're buried in work or they don't have enough staff to help them. So that is something you want to look out for before going in with a CPA, is say, hey, if you feel like you're really if you're overbooked, if you're at your max capacity, can you please just let me know? Because I'm really expecting this kind of turnaround. And they should be able to tell you, honestly, one way or the other, if they're able to do that, meet that deadline. And if they can't meet that deadline, that's fine. But, hopefully all these kind of conversations around billing, around turnaround time, all that happens up front. And that's going to really solidify that relationship. And a CPA who really cares about you, they're going to be very good with communication. They're going to be letting you know, where things are at. They're going to email you to tell you, okay, this is where I'm at with this project. Hey, this is taking me a little bit longer than I thought it would, but hey, I still think we're going to be able to deliver this to you by this and this date. There's all these things to take into consideration when you're looking for a CPA. But I just wanted to share my thoughts, this from my perspective of being in public accounting now for so long. So please drop your comments, your questions down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Those are my thoughts on finding a good CPA. And in a follow-up video, let me know if you'd like to know what to look for in a bookkeeper, because a bookkeeper is often more important in many instances than a CPA. You might need a bookkeeper well before you ever need a CPA. So if you want me to do a follow-up video on that, please let me know in the comments below, and I can tell you what you might look for in hiring a bookkeeper for yourself personally or for your business. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending time with me over YouTube. It really means a lot to me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a favor and crush that like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Money and Life TV, where our goal and mission is to help you become fiscally fit as we teach finances, investing, taxes, and more on a regular basis. Have a great weekend. I'll see you down in the comments. Live life uncaged, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.